The Alaska line is serving everyone well. Nice job. The extra supplies are helping to bring the war back from the brink of disaster.
And with that, welcome back to the 20th episode of a nostalgia playthrough of Railroad Tycoon 2 Platinum Edition. This time we're going in for the battle for Britain. With the three options we have here, I'm going for train speed plus 10%, and let's get to it.
World War II has broken out in Europe. The Axis forces are on the move and in the air, hitting everything in sight, including your lines. Follow Mr. Churchill's resolve to stop the Axis tide that threatens to swamp the British Isles. Build, and make it fast. And God save the Queen.
Indeed, and also God save you if you're going for this scenario for the first time. Me personally, I don't really like these pre-built rails, run some trains around them type scenarios, which it seems like a third or half of the 2nd century scenarios are, but we're going to power through them to get through this playthrough of the game. And this map is pretty much a puzzle. Once you've solved it, you have the solution to it. So you can basically copy exactly what I do here, and you will have the exact same results, barring breakdowns and train crashes and random events like that. The map will be the exact same every single time you play it. With that being said, the Germans have switched from bombing military targets and begun bombing London. During this shift in the bombing, you must rush to provide materials to the military infrastructure. Intelligence expects you to have no more than a 12-day window to perform all of your duties, so you have until the end of the day, September 21st. Crews only have the resources to repair 6 blocks of track a day. Your current 10 locomotives will be all you have to meet your quotas and turn back the tide of aggression. Bronze, Oxford, Portland and Liverpool are supply dumps and each must receive all of the following materials. Well, gold. Same locations need 12 food, 6 troops and 6 ammunition. And that's the one we're going for. Special rules. You will only be allowed 6 blocks of track with which to repair your lines daily. What you do not use does not carry over. No new stations or station improvements will be possible. No new locomotives can be purchased. The stock market will be suspended and you cannot resign as chairman, though we may kick you out. So that's some great working pressure right there. Now, we need to connect Portland over here. Well, not connect it, that's usually what it is, but this time just supply. And we need to supply Oxford over here and Liverpool over here. We got 10 trains to do so with, of various types. Train number 2, I'm just going to let you know right now, starts over here in a section of track that is completely cut off from the main line. So you need to spend, you know, a little bit of your daily allotted track stuff to get it to somewhere else than here. Now, you could connect it to send it to London and past London, because London's going to be bombed all the damn time, so you don't want it in London. But you could send it over here, waypoint it to sit and wait here, and then you could lay down tracks there another day. Thing is, if you don't do this in the first day, London is likely to get bombed and all this track around here is likely to be gone. So yeah, if you want to do that, do it fast. I'm just going to leave this train here though, because it's just not how I want to prioritize my track repairs, and we can make do without that train. I would like to repair up these trains here, or this track here, outside of Liverpool, to connect Liverpool in a continuous line with a little bit of bombing along it here and there, so you have to do a little bit of detours to Oxford. And I also want to connect this line here, so we have easy access down to Newport and Cardiff to pick up ammunition. And to get to Portland, we're gonna have to repair this, so we'll do that the next turn, or the next day I mean. Either way, Bedford train over here. We'll set that up to go to Cambridge, Bedford, Milton Keynes and then Oxford. And in Bedford we'll pick up 3 grain, wait for full load. Then in, no, because for some reason I didn't select Cambridge, or I deleted it, I don't know. Cambridge, 3 grain, Bedford, 6 grain, Milton Keynes, 6 food, take that to Oxford, and we are. We do need to connect this track here before we can continue past Milton Keynes, but that's okay. And also I'm going to delete this bakery in Bedford so that we don't turn in the grain from Cambridge to Bedford, turn it into food, and have to transport extra weight over to Milton Keynes before we turn the rest of the grain into food there. Might as well turn all the grain into food here, because that's gonna make for a slightly quicker... you'll get there slightly faster. Not significant or meaningful in any way, but that's how it is. Train 3, I set up to go to this waypoint over here. You don't want to waypoint it to like the parts of the track here which are busted by bombs, but just you want to waiting here until you can open up this, and then we're gonna let it loose into this area here. Send it over here to pick up cattle, turn that into Taunton for food, turn that food into Portland, and rinse and repeat, and there you go. Now, these various other trains you have across the map, we have a train in Birmingham, which we are going to send to Cannock, and then we're going to pick up troops in Cannock, wait for full load, and send those to Liverpool. And then in this train wants to go to Cardiff, and we're going to let it, and in Cardiff it can pick up ammunition to send to Oxford, which we'll wait for full load. Next train here wants to go to Liverpool, and we'll let it, and then in Liverpool it can pick up 6 troops and chauffeur those to Oxford. This train here outside of Leicester, hang on. Yeah, this train outside of Leicester can go to Gloucester instead. Should work, and then to Portland with troops. So that's 3 places covered with troops now, so far. We got ammunition going to Oxford. And this Oxford train here will send down to Portsmouth and then Portland after it picks up 6 loads of ammunition. So we then also need 6 loads of ammunition going to Liverpool. And we'll send whichever train is closest to do that. And that will be this in Banbury. We'll send that to Newport, pick up the ammunition, and then go to Liverpool. Now I just want to double check that I've done this correctly here. We got ammunition to Liverpool, ammunition to Portland, ammunition to Oxford. We also got troops to Liverpool, troops to Oxford, troops to Portland. Now you could get really unlucky, and last time I did this, I was about to win, and then a train broke down with 1 day left, or it didn't break down, it just crashed right before delivering the troops, because I ran the game at speed 10. If you run the game at speed 10, for some reason, in my experience, the faster you run the game, the more likely trains are to break down for some reason. I really do think that is the case, and if it is the case, it is quite freaking stupid. But that seems to be how they've chosen to design the game. Either way, we're going to send this train here from Northampton. Well, it's not in Northampton, it's in Banbury. It wants to go to Northampton, but there's no track connecting there, unless you want to go a massive detour. And we don't want to go there anyway, we want to just pick up cattle in Banbury, get a full load of that, send that over to Manchester, as cattle weighs less than, quite a substantial amount less than food. So we transport it long haul over here, and then turn it into food, and turn that food in on Liverpool, rinse and repeat, and we've met that requirement. So, all we need to do right now is, we'll go game speed 7 to avoid train crashes, hopefully. And we just need to micromanage train number 1 here a little bit more, and then we're good to go. And that's all that needs to happen, basically. Right now, just waiting for the next day. London is hit again. This train is waiting on the track here for the next day, so we can actually connect up the track. Everything's waiting or heading over to the stations to pick up the various goods or various cargoes. And there we go, we have a new day. Actually, let's quickly pause the game and see if maybe we have some managers that can make trains move faster. Yeah, train speed steam, 10% faster, we'll take him. And we'll also connect up this, like so. Then we have 2 remaining track sections left, which we will use outside of Northampton here, so that's connected to Oxford. And then we put this train that's waiting here on a Taunton crossing cattle pickup, turn that in Taunton to food, turn that over to Portland, and rinse and repeat. It really is that simple. Then we speed up and we look at this train. Which is still waiting for a grain in Bedford. But that's fine. It matters not. The only thing that can really foil this attempt is a train crash, which happened in my last attempt at this episode, which prompted me to redo it. That's just bad RNG, and it denied me gold. In a silly way, but you know, these things can happen, the trains can crash and then, well, GG. Try again. But as long as they don't happen, actually, can we connect like that? Yep. And we don't really need to lay any more track than that, except we could, I suppose, there's a little bit of a section over here. I don't think this matters at all, but let's just go full circle there. In case it does, I don't think anything's gonna run there, but if it does, then well, now it can. Or if it wants to, now it can. Oh, 7 game speed, so we don't have any ridiculous game mechanic type train crashes. And go to Oxford, unload, have a breakdown. Go from Northampton to Banbury back to Oxford. We load up on cattle in Northampton, turn that into food. Turn that food in Oxford, and there we are. Now all we need to do is just let this play itself out. These trains look pretty sleek. Don't need. There's some bombings here and there. They can happen randomly, I think, but it doesn't really matter. Let's just make sure the line is intact, actually. So I should probably read those just to make sure that it hasn't happened anywhere where it matters, but it doesn't appear to have. No, we're good. Okay, this is unloading in Banbury. Then it goes over to Oxford. Unloads, and we'll just leave it standing there, and hopefully it doesn't block the track doing that. Actually, let's send it to Oxford and just have it remain there. And then really we just let time go. Let time pass, and then we win. It's really this simple. As I said, it's a puzzle that once you've solved it, you have the solution. So, London's been bombed again, and nobody cared. And pretty much right after this food has been delivered, we should be pretty close to just winning straight out. Now we're about to turn in food in Liverpool once more. Upon when we've done that, we can just leave that train in Liverpool so it doesn't clog our tracks at all. There we go, unloading in Liverpool, and now we can just stand there. This train is leaving with the troops. Still loading up a little bit in Newport, but some of these trains have started heading out with the ammunition and troop loads now. Takes about 6 days to load up fully, and then they're on the way. Across the nation, crisscrossing back and forth, and Britain can rejoice. Train 4 suffered a breakdown. Doesn't really matter. And there we go. Usually you don't have this many breakdowns, depending on the game speed you run. As I say, seemingly the faster you run the game, the more these things happen. As probably a means of discouraging you from doing exactly that, which is stupid, but what are you gonna do? Alright, so right now, food delivered, 12 in, well, we need a little bit of troops and ammunition in Oxford, and in Portland, ammunition in Liverpool, and the last haul of food in Portland, which is coming in right here. Now there is certainly other ways. I've played this in many different ways. There's many ways you can solve this map here. You can micromanage around, you can do various things. You can, for instance, use these ammunition factories here to turn steel and chemicals or aluminium and chemicals into ammunition, but ultimately you don't have to because it's quite simple. And yeah, our last few trains are heading to their destination. And soon enough we'll be in the gold. The deliveries to Liverpool were slowed down a little bit by breakdowns, but that is fine. And there we go, that's the ammunition delivered to Liverpool. Upon doing so, we can... it's just we're gonna have a train run back. I don't really care. Doesn't matter. Now you can play around with it and have a little bit of fun, but it's just the way that I've found that it's just easy and simple to win the map. And this is about to hit Oxford, and that should be the end of it once it does. Yeah, we need 6 more ammunition in Oxford, then we have the gold, and it is coming in here. With 3 days to spare, 4 days to spare, 3.5 days. Ta-da! Now we just probably wait until the end of this day, and it's GG. This applauding is a bit loud, so I don't want to compete with it when I'm talking. So, you're as good as the next Prime Minister you are. You'll be knighted, you'll be loved by millions. Gold, pure gold. Alright, and there you have it. Doesn't need to be any harder than that. And that's a quick way to just push through this scenario. And then the next one, which is kind of similar and also not very much fun in my eyes. But you know, that's subjective though. You might like them. Personally, I don't like these scenarios. I like to lay down tracks, connect cities, connect industry, run trains, set up profitable routes, etc. and just profit and watch my income grow. That's what I like to do when I play this game. So for me, these scenarios, which unfortunately a large part of the 2nd century consist of, are quite unenjoyable. But that's just me. I would usually just skip past these scenarios, but not this time around, so there you go. Gold medal. If you liked the video, or it helped you out in any way, I'd appreciate if you would consider leaving a like on it, maybe even subscribing to my channel for future content. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and you can catch me in the next one, so have a good one.